To be honest, I didn't think I'd find myself doing a blog Ashwin versus Kapil Dev. I'm not going to do that actually. But such has been Ashwin's remarkable growth as an all-rounder that sometimes you put numbers alongside and it just makes for an interesting narrative, and I'm not going too much further. In fact, I remember having a conversation with Ashwin some time ago and I said, maybe the person to look at is Daniel Vettori, to see how he moved up the order and for a while became New Zealand's, well, almost New Zealand's best batsman, really, certainly in terms of numbers he was. So let's see what the numbers are telling us about Ashwin and Kapil Dev. Well, for a start, Ashwin's played 1/3 the number of test matches, 42 versus 131. I don't see him playing another 90 test matches. So 5,200 runs or thereabouts for Kapil Dev, I think out of bounds at this stage for Ashwin. But if he gets those, wow, we'll have seen some brilliant batting. Can he get 435 wickets? He's 200 behind at this stage, and even assuming that there'll be little dip, there'll be good and bad periods, we're looking at 40 to 50 test matches, about 5 or 6 years. Ashwin will be 35, 36. I think definitely possible, but fitness will be very, very important for Ashwin as he goes ahead. That's a theme that will recur right through this little blog. But Ashwin's strike rates are just remarkable. They come from another planet. He's taking about 6.68, I think the number is, wickets per test match. In Asian conditions, that is. Kapil Dev was about 3.1. Even the great Vinu Mankad was 4.1. I think Kapil Dev was 3.2. And those are just absolutely staggering, mind-blowing numbers. No one else has achieved anything like that. But we keep looking at Ashwin and saying, are you going to deliver overseas? What are the numbers overseas telling? And they're quite remarkable too. Ashwin's got about 3.1, I think, wickets per test match. Even Kapil Dev was 3.4 only, so it's not such a vast difference. The difference comes in the averages. Kapil Dev averaged 30, you expect that for a fast bowler overseas. Ashwin 42.7. But look at how that stacks up against another great all-rounder. Vinu Mankad only got about 2.93 wickets per test match and his average was 44.76. So sometimes, with passage of time, legends become so big, but the numbers tell a completely different story. So I think you need to look at Ashwin in the context of Vinu Mankad and a spinner overseas, but he's still a young spinner overseas, which we need to keep in mind. Batting, actually Ashwin stacks pretty favorably. Averages of about 34, 35 versus 31. In fact, overseas, Kapil Dev only averaged 26. You could turn around and say, yeah, I mean, the time Kapil Dev played was a golden era for bowlers, so that's why we're not making the comparison. But Ashwin at 34, 35 is looking pretty good. 102 one-day internationals for Ashwin. In fact, even in test matches itself, let's look at something else. Where was Kapil Dev at the number of test matches Ashwin had played? 165 versus 235. Ashwin is way ahead. But Kapil Dev, had something very, very important going in his favor. He was only 23 years and about 250 days when he did that. Ashwin is already 30. So Kapil Dev's best years were still ahead of him. You've got to ask yourself, if Ashwin is going through his peak, whether his best years will still be ahead of him. One day's Kapil Dev was, as a batsman, just vastly different. Ashwin's probably taken more wickets than Kapil Dev at the same stage, but spinners, the strike rates are very different. So can you make the comparison? No, it's not a good idea to make the comparison. The only reason I've agreed to do this blog is that we put Kapil Dev on that pedestal and say the greatest ever. Well, Ashwin's numbers are not too bad, so maybe we just need to start looking at Ashwin as an all-rounder through completely different eyes.